Hey everyone, my name is Simpsy. How you all doing? Welcome back to some more Hearts of Iron 4 Road to 56 mod. Here today on the channel, we're back with episode 11 of our Italian campaign. It's January 1952, and the world is divided between Germany, controlling the Axis powers, which we were formerly a part of. Now we are a part of our own faction, Imperium Romanum. And the war with the Allies, who is now turned into NATO, is still very much going on, as the Axis powers have lost a combined 80 million losses, which is crazy if I do say so myself. We're contributing 17 million to those losses. Yet we still have 31 million in the bank, mostly thankfully to our foreign occupied territory that we control, which is the majority of Africa, India, Australia, the United Kingdom, and most of the Mediterranean. We currently have one nuclear weapon in the bank, and things are looking good for the evil powers, let's say. I'm curious to see what happens once we hit 56, and it just seems like it's turned into a massive stalemate. Things haven't really changed since 1945, when Britain fell, but NATO and North America is still very much secure thanks to the US Navy, which has absolutely mined everything in and around the Florida coast, the Gulf of Mexico, and essentially that eastern Pacific border. They've even taken back some of the island territory, which both myself and the Germans used to hold. Oh, what's this? Oh no. February 1954, as Mussolini died. No, but there has been a motion of no confidence, and the Grand Council of Fascism has come in. Our war support has rocketed to 17%. Yeah, I suppose this has been a decades-long war. We were a part of the Axis powers. We did ask for more autonomy from the Germans, and we thought ruling our Mediterranean and colonial realm in our right was the play. But I believe... well, I don't know when he actually died, though, historically. It might have been around this date. I actually can't remember. Potentially. Okay, wow. So, a council is now in charge of the Italian sphere of influence, which stretches from Iceland to Australia. That's not going to end in tears, is it? Oh no. So yeah, he's still in charge. Just having a look. So there hasn't been like any major changes. Maybe once you sort of, because we're technically going into sort of the early 50s, early sort of Cold War stuff. But Truman is now the president. We had FDR. Winston is still hanging about, controlling the United Kingdom of Mexico. Outright. And of course the big baddie still controls Germany. Okay. Oh, there might be a full-on civil war if it goes any further. The stability is quite low. Same with political power as well. Uh-oh, that would be huge if there is going to be an Italian civil war. Oh, wow. Italy about to throw this campaign after all this. What other stuff can they potentially go down? Yeah, it's just like what's happened is the US has just turned this into a stalemate now. It's going to be pretty much impossible to bring them down. Like, they've lost millions trying to do so. $65 million for the Axis powers. Nearly double. Well over 100 million now. Although they've taken significant casualties, they have won in the territorial realm. They've taken New Zealand. We have Australia. We still have that puppet goal against the Ruski, so we could declare war upon them. And we still have those battle plans drawn. Okay, skipping a little bit ahead now, and January 1953. Things look a lot worse for Italy, as it's still hovering around about 11%. The old faction leader is now nowhere in sight, and the Grand Council of Italian fascists is probably going to drive this colonial imperial power back to the Stone Age. Cuba's still under Axis control, but as always, I've been saying it countlessly, the US has not been navally invaded on the contiguous United States at all. And surprisingly, I'd say the majority of South America has capitulated to the Axis. Australia and New Zealand to us, but South Africa, not necessarily sure why, but they're still holding. We have nuclear power plants, along with 4 devices on the Italian mainland. We're still absolutely stacked on our core territory, so if a war does break out between the Germans and the Italians, we are poised in a position to at least counterpunch them. This is turning into sort of a... Wait, Italian East Africa? Oh, right, we gave it to one of the princes. Ah, that's what that did. There was actually another one here that I saw. Yeah, check this out. The House of Bourbon currently rules Peru, which is kind of weird to see. Yeah. So I guess this in this alternative timeline, with the Japanese going shogunate and peaceful, in like a sort of Man in the High Castle style, Italy was the dominant power. I do find it interesting that even in the book, and in the show to some extent, they just completely forget the Italians and what they contributed to the war, or what maybe they didn't in that alternative timeline. There's a fair few others, but it was a book written in like the 50s and 60s or whatever. I think people are a little bit harsh on that, but I still think it's kind of cool. The alternative timeline stuff. I enjoy that show for what it was. Some people get pretty upset about it. I don't know. I kind of like it as a bit of a period piece, just like the weird stuff of everyday life in the Third Reich. It's just weird. Kind of like Mad Men. Yeah, like there's the... Yeah, yeah, if that's in that Krakow Polish region, I reckon that state within Germany is a bit more sinister than probably what it lets out to be. Because why else would the Germans give up so much territory in a state? But anyway, the Civil War's now broken back as... Wait, what? Oh, okay. So how's this working out? Oh, no. So Sicily and southern Italy have seceded. Mussolini is back, baby, with the Socialist Republic. Okay, so it's only the core territory. And then the Italian National Assembly. Oh, no. So April 1953. This is a huge battle here. I think half of the army has fallen. And both sides are trading rocket artillery fire. That's crazy. As the Italian Civil War now breaks out. That's 70% of capitulation. I wonder what will happen if they potentially win. I don't think they're going to join NATO. Oh no, they've actually just crushed all our units there in Sicily. That's not good. And we're currently trying to hold them on the Naples Mount Vesuvius front. And we are below 50% towards capitulation. Oh no. After decades of this campaign we've been playing, Italy might throw in the end. We do have air supremacy up over the top, which is fantastic. We're slowly moving forces down from that northern Alpine border. But they currently control the boots of Italy, which isn't good. In an eerily similar historical flip-flop that the Italians did in real life, of course. Changing sides. With the South joining the Allies. And the North remaining true to the Axis. There was even all these small little communist pockets and uprisings running about the place as well. So they tried to overthrow Mussolini. That's fascinating to see. They might even be successful in the end. So they go on like Pax Romana or something. Is that what they've ended up doing? The Russians are coming over here to defend Italy, which is interesting. I don't think the Axis powers are in on this, so it's basically just us. 350k lost. We are holding them. We're trying to stem the surge. But there are so many units condensely packed there. We have air supremacy over the top. Not so much navy. Oh, maybe we lost a huge chunk of the Italian navy. Great. It was already subpar to the last of the Allied Navy, and particularly the US. Even less of a fighting force. A little bit back and forth here at the moment. Oh, they're actually getting help from the UK. That's not surprising. But maybe even Japan as well. What? Why would they be helping them? No, they're not in a faction. Okay, so it's really just that South African border. We actually lost 10 million manpower as well. No, closer to 5. More so than 10. The Portuguese and the Italian Navy are battling it out. We are helping them. Air Force wise. Yeah, we lost 10 battleships there. Oh, that's kind of huge. Our stability shot back up. Now bringing back Mr. Musa. Our war support's still down. Typical Italy. Throwing the campaign late. It's just the US still being defiant. Not wrapping up with that war with the Allies sooner. Probably cost us here. As now this new phase of the war is a bit of a stalemate. Realistically, it probably would have ended. But you can't really do solid peace deals unless you're on the losing side in Hoi. Like, realistically, this war wouldn't have gone on for another 10 years if the Axis powers couldn't get in. My god, that is such a bright, vibrant, and quite frankly, sickly green for some reason. I don't know why. Neon lights, that's what it looks like. What's all this? Did they all secede? No, okay. Oh, if they somehow break away, right. So if a Kurdish state, a Paraguay state, potentially. Another one down in Malaya. Oh, they're going to join. Wait, they're going to pop up, though? No, they haven't. Why does the Russian Dominion occupy Iraq? That's a strange sight. Okay. Oh, now they're at war with the Axis. And have they formed their own faction in doing so? I think they have. Yeah, no, Germany is helping us out now. I guess they wouldn't allow a civil war to happen so close to their border from a major power, I guess. We'd probably do the same. Alright. The small little pockets of fighting and battles have now subsided, as both the Italian sides take to the skies and battle for aerial and regional supremacy. 7 minutes. We came so close to capitulating there. We sort of stemmed that push. But now in 1953, the first Italian Civil War has erupted. To be fair, we've been quite stable through the majority of this campaign. The Soviets, the USSR had theirs. The French. Yeah, the UK, States and Germany have been solid in this series. And they haven't changed, like, they didn't really flip as well. We are playing with, obviously, unhistorical focuses, so anything can happen. Italy, doing well for one. Up until now. Yeah, so they formed the Rome Protocols. Interesting. Because I guess, well, the thing is, communism never really took root in this save, with the USSR falling. There was a bit of a pop-up in Mexico, but that was about it. The world was divided by the Democratic Allies, the Axis fascist / other, that being us and Free France as well, which we still had to war with, even with both us and the Germans having similar political ideologies. Yeah, so it's full on just like a stalemate there in South America. And we've actually been pushed back further. Maybe because we don't own that territory in full. Got some naval invasions being prepared. I don't know how effective they're going to be. We got rail guns moving, along with rocket artillery. Shows us like an absolute cluster. A cluster clock in the skies around southern Italy. We've got so many divisions there, because we're such in the late game. It's kind of absurd. Are we going to be able to break through that Italian bloc? They're firmly controlled Sicily, which is annoying, because now they can use that island as essentially a floating aircraft carrier to project power in and around the Mediterranean. And then southern Italy, they're just really holding as well, along with the cross at Messana there. Could have been worse. Well, maybe not actually. This is probably the worst place they could have started this. Northern Italy and the Alps would have been hard to push from the north, but the Germans would have been able to help us out. This is just all our own, as we're currently fighting over 3 tiles in Italy. Yeah, no, I take that back. This is pretty bad. I don't know, we're getting out of this. Okay, January 1954. Nothing really has changed. Skipping a little bit ahead. There's been a little bit of progression back and forth, but overall, this is turning into another one of those forever wars, which major powers seem to like. Getting to the stage where most of the tech tree is now complete, and only 2 years away before 56, before we hit the mod's name. It's been a while, but yeah, overall, Axis not doing too much, helping us out here. US still hanging about with the Allies. Well, technically NATO now. Need to remember that. And we're still dealing with this Italian civil war. Probably about 50% towards capitulation. A lot higher than what the 40 got to. But January now, 1954. Moose is still in charge. I kind of wish, like in Road to 56, you could have multiple leaders from the similar party. Like, I feel like in Millennium Dawn, they just have so many more. And such a huge variety of faction leaders. Small maintenance here and a couple of others we haven't gone through. Some trucks and stuff. Just watch over that sci-fi. I don't know what's going on. Why is that bugging? Why is that popping up constantly? That research slot. More annoying than anything. Alright, we've taken 2 tiles on the left and right here. As we might be able to have our first little offensive as we hit February 1954. If we can take Naples, that'd be huge. Still nothing going on in the US. Oh, Cuba's about to fall to NATO forces, though. Something to keep an eye on. They weren't able to use that as a naval invasion leapfrog, which is a shame. I thought they might have been potentially able to do it. Might be able to take another tile here, as the Italians are on the back foot. Still an even split between communism, fascism, and democracy in Campania. Okay, we've taken 3 tiles here. As we're just pounding them with relentless train railgun and artillery. Might have weakened them down now. We're going to be able to outproduce them. We've got that on our side, and of course, geography is destiny. Being landlocked at the bottom of this boot here is not good for them. Look at the US. They are literally where they are now and how successful they are with their geography in this campaign. So far away, so isolated, and with the bounty of the US behind them. The Axis and the Italians can't go in. We might be able to take Naples here. February 1954. Still no push in the south because we've just lost our navy. Or half of it. That's why it's so back and forth. Man, oh man. Like 2, 3, 4 tiles within a year. Crazy scenes on this border there, but we are slowly but surely chipping away at the Italian separatists. King of the skies, eh? Help our bomber capacity. Hey, Naples has fallen. May 1954. Will we be able to recapture and capitulate them before 1956? Maybe. Air Force is doing alright. Still just shy of under 1,000 divisions. Which you'd think you'd have by now. Well, maybe we would have had more if we didn't lose them. Swung back up to 60, so we're not going to capitulate. It's just how much we're going to lose taking this. If we've got India, Africa, the UK, and Mediterranean on our side, you'd think we'd have more divisions. It does reflect in our manpower, that. 22 still a fair bit. So June 1954. The World Theatre is pretty much the same, except for the Italian one. I still can't believe there's that NATO resistance there, hanging up in the north. Some sort of, I don't know, what were those people called? The Shadow Legion, hanging out in Nanda Parbat or whatever it is. The Batman people, the ninjas in the north. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Alright guys, well, unfortunately we've encountered a game crashing save now for whatever reason. Unfortunately we're not going to be able to get it to 56 this save. I'm actually surprised it lasted this long, but for whatever reason, once we tick over the next couple of days and weeks, the game just crashes and there's not much I can do about it. I think it's because there's so many units closely densed into Italy, because we had a civil war so late. There's like 400, there's probably like 800 or so divisions in the Italian peninsula. But we're probably going to have to wrap things up anyway soon, because we're getting to 56 as the world ends with the Axis and Imperium Romanum factions dominating the majority of the world's continents, yet the US and NATO and the UK and Canada live out in peace, defending North America. Kind of a cool run. There were some crazy events, and I hope you've enjoyed this series. Looking at the stats real quick, we finished in second, Germany first, the Japanese Shogunate third, the US in fourth, the Russian Dominion in fifth, Sweden, Hungary up there as well, and the Axis slightly being on top over Imperium Romanum, the Rome Protocols. I would have liked to see how that civil war between the Italian states would have ended up. We probably did have more power than the Axis at one point, or what's left of the Axis, but score-wise, 6,000, not too shabby, if I do say so myself. But anyway, thanks for watching. Make sure to take care of yourselves. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Stay tuned for more content on the channel. Let me know what you would like me to replace this series with. Hearts of Iron 4, Road to 56 mod, primarily. Maybe we can play more Millennium Dawn, or potentially I don't know, a Star Wars mod or something. That'd be cool. That's good on Hoi. But anyway, thanks for watching. If you want to see more from me, check out the videos on screen. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.